Hello and welcome to Remember Me.
The stories of our babies. I am Eli's mum, Chelsey Tookie.
And I'm Mila's mum, Helena and In this podcast, we'll be talking all about the stories and memories of our babies while they were alive, from womb to world.
Here we will ask you the questions that no one ever asks you after your baby dies. Let's humanise their existence and give dignity to their passing whilst breaking the taboo of baby loss.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to... I always feel like I'm saying the same thing all the time. Yet another episode. It's funny. But welcome to this episode. Today we're going to be talking about Mother's Day. And we're just going to talk about the feelings that come with it. Obviously, looking back at how it was when we had our first Mother's Day without our baby. And then for us, obviously, we're now at a stage where we've got other children and what it's like to experience Mother's Day, having them as well. Do you want to take us back to your first Mother's Day, what that was like?
Do you know, I can't really remember. I remember I think I just stayed in, to be honest. I think Dean cooked me dinner and I just treated it like as a normal day. Like, Dean did get me stuff from Eli. I think I might have gone to Eli's garden, actually. But the lead up, and like obviously all the social media posts and what everyone else has done with their kids, that triggered me massively. So I did like try and come off of, social media and, like all the emails you get as well. To be fair, there are a few companies that have like emailed and sort of said like, do you want to opt out of Mother's Day emails, which is good. Don't ask me to name them off the top of my head because I have no idea. But yeah, so I don't know, maybe it's getting better.
That's quite interesting. A lot more grief aware, I suppose, because obviously some people don't have their mums. And what's it like for people to experience Mother's Day when they don't even have their mum to share? Like, for example, I'm at work right now and we've got the radio on. And like for the millionth time, there's this ad about... I think it's funkypigeon.com with a personalized Mother's Day card. And it's kind of getting on my nerves. And it's weird that it's getting on my nerves because obviously, I've got Arinze, but I still sort of feel like half a mum. I don't know if that's a shared sentiment, but yeah. So like even it still feels iffy and very weird around Mother's Day. So my first Mother's Day, I was even looking out for the date. I had completely forgotten that it was a thing. And I didn't see any social media because I had stepped out of Instagram altogether because everything on Instagram would just set me off, It was always showing me babies and what to do with your newborn and stuff like that. So I decided to just step out. But I think I've mentioned on here before, so my Mother's Day was like a month or 2 months. Was it 2 months after? No, it would have been March, 3 months after my love free. And Robert got me a mug that said Brilliant Mum. And I was like, oh yeah. That's when I was like, oh yeah, I am a mum. And that was such a lovely gesture because I wouldn't have expected him to have done that, especially because right early on we didn't really... I mean, we spoke about our loss and stuff. Well, obviously we did. I think in the beginning we were just sort of trying to find our ground and find our footing. Like, how are we going to live this life? But it was very much... Because especially like his conversation after everything had happened, like a month after, he was like, oh, I've given her to God now. And in my mind, I thought that meant, oh, okay, so now we're not going to speak about her again. But that's not what happened. And when he bought that, it made me feel like, oh, wow. So she's still very much a part of our lives, which is good. But obviously it was very awful at the same time. Like, how sad that the only thing I have to show for being a mum is a mug.
Yeah, I know. I remember because Dean got me... I actually got a best mum mug as well. Oh. No, it wasn't. It was a whale and it said, I whaley love you, mummy, or something like that. And I actually still put it at work. And he bought me like a matching like gift bag for it. And like a card and stuff from Moonpig with like pictures of me and E. And yeah, I was, to be fair, was actually, I was very aware Mother's Day was coming up, and I kept sort of mentioning it to Dean, like, oh, it's Mother's Day soon, like, what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to cope? Like, what, you know? So yeah, I did kind of keep sort of worrying about it prior to, you know, like when it was coming up, I kept worrying about it. Yeah, so I think I was like, I remember we keep mentioning it to Dean. I kept thinking, please get me like something from Eli, like just to, you know what I mean? And I think, and to be fair, I can't remember, my memory is awful, but I remember I had loads of cards from like other people too, who like, it was just the first Mother's Day. Like I wasn't expecting. Someone got me flowers, and it was so lovely. And like the gestures, it was just, yeah. I remember having like loads of cards, and I think one of my neighbours got me like a little neck or something like that, and it was just so lovely. Like all these people like showed up for me, and maybe it's because like when I was like early on, I think with me, social media like helped me sort of, because straight away I was like connecting with other lost mums, and you know, like people that have been like how we are now, how we're like years away. I like was following a lot of them, and they were very much still, you know, I am still a mum, stuff like that, which kind of made me feel like, well, yeah, of course I'm still a mum. Like I gave birth to him, like I carried him for 9.5 months. Like, what else am I? And yeah, but no, I do think, yeah, that first one, I don't think we went out or anything. It was just a case of, I think Dean done me a roast dinner, and we just sort of stayed in, and it was quite a depressing day, but there was like glimmers, I'll call them now, which is, you know, like all of the cards and stuff I got from other people, and yeah, it was quite nice in that aspect.
Yeah, that's really nice that people got you cards. And I think actually, I think people getting you cards might have been the way you have set everything up. Like, even with Eli's day, his send off, you did this massive, you know, expression of love. Like, you invited so many people. You had balloons, right? You had a lot of stuff, and I saw how many people were there. I saw how many like gifts you got, and I feel like that. I mean, I might be speaking for people. I don't know, but would have probably been a way to invite people in to say, you know, please still be involved. And it's nice that people got the signal and were able to be like, okay, yeah, we're going to be, you know, we're going to acknowledge you as a mother on your first Mother's Day. Like, it's just so important. It has to come from outside, because as much as people are like, you know, you shouldn't have to have other people validate the fact that your baby existed. But it's like, if you don't have other people saying it, it just feels like it's just in your head, and like sometimes it might feel not real, you know? Like, how do we know? It's almost like, let's imagine, like, sounds so weird, but like, if we don't see or speak to other people, like, do we even exist? I don't know. I'm chatting nonsense.
You know, it's true. And I remember actually my niece, she's quite an introvert, bless her. And I remember she done like a Mother's Day like thing on Instagram, just like a story, you know, like with the collage, and she said something like Happy Mother's Day to all like the mums in my life, and she put like her mum, her nan, and like me on there as well, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's the cutest thing ever. Like, I am a mum, like, you know, she still sees me as a mum, and she was only like, I don't know, 14, 13, so she's, you know, at that age where it's not cool sort of thing. But yeah, literally I remember seeing that, and I was like, oh, that's so cute. Like, I don't know why, it just literally made my day. I was like, yeah, I am still a mum.
That's so nice. Oh my God. That's so nice. And honestly, like, we say it all the time, but children are so much more well-versed, or teenagers, at like, you know, seeing things as they are. Like, yes, you are a mum. That is your child, point blank, period. Like, as soon as we start to get older, we make things more complex, and it's like,
And
well, you can't
awkward.
be a mum if they're not here.
Yeah,
Like, come
of course
on.
you can. Yeah, it's just I don't know. But yeah, no. In regards to his funeral, I think you could be right. Actually, that was like in my head. I was like, no one got to meet Eli. That's why it was such an open invitation, because I was like, this is the only chance you're going to get to meet my son, and like I want to show him off. Like he's my son,
Yeah,
and
I
that's
hear
how it
you.
sort of was in my head. Like I know a lot of people probably think I'm mad for doing that, but it was just how
No.
I coped at the time,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think now I like to just think about the mums who, are mums, but only to babies who are not here, like who don't have any other living children, and just how difficult this day is. I think it's just really important to shine a light on that, because it is really, really difficult to live life and just constantly see reminders, but knowing that you're not necessarily involved or included as a mother in many spaces. Yeah, it's really, really, really difficult. It makes me quite sad, actually, because it's just, yeah, it's really, really hard. And to not have a support system as well. Do you have any words that you'd want to share just to mummies who are navigating Mother's Day whilst not having their babies here?
I think just to, let your loved ones or whoever you're close with know what you want, and, make sure you articulate how you're feeling and your feelings around Mother's Day, whether you want to celebrate it, whether you just want to ignore the day. I mean, like I don't, going out is probably, you wouldn't want to do it. I mean, it's, just as long as your sort of partners or whoever you've got around you, know, and just make sure, you let them know, and just be kind to yourself, and just take a moment for you, whatever it is you enjoy doing, or just do something for you.
Yeah, yeah, I second that. And especially the being kind to yourself, because as we've both have said, like, it's not easy at all. And like, if it means that you need to just hide away, put your phone away, whatever, that's so valid, and that's okay. I think sometimes people think, oh, I'm getting at a place where I'm surviving, and then, one little thing can happen, and then you go right back to like feelings of the day where it happened, and it's like, that's fine if that happens too. I mean,
It happen. It does happen, and it happens to me now. Still, 3 years later, like I do, like suddenly go back to where I was at the beginning. But yeah, it's just the most important thing is just to be kind to yourself, and just give yourself grace. Like, it's so hard, obviously I parent Dakota, and then obviously Eli's in heaven or wherever he is. I never really feel complete, like, as a mother. Like, I feel like I'm split into, like, parenting my baby who's here on earth and parenting my baby who's in the stars. Like, and it's so, like, the guilt that I get constantly every time I'm doing something for either of them, and I'm not doing enough for the other. Like, it's just like a bizarre. It's like a weird kind of, I don't even know if it's grief or if it's just mum guilt. Like, it's just, and a lot of people don't understand that. Like, it's still, you still get mum guilt for both of your children just because Eli's not here. In fact, I probably get more mum guilt for him because he's not here.
that feeling of, oh, I'm not paying enough attention to Arinze because I'm thinking too much about what I could, or like my thoughts about Myla, or I'm paying too much attention to her. It's really, I wonder, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's probably the same if they were both here, I wonder.
I think so. Yeah. Like, you're doing something with one child whilst the others isn't here or out with their grandparent. I think it would, but it's just hard.
How has Mother's Day, right? The first one, it really affected not my relationship with my mum, but how I saw Mother's Day for my mum. Like, because I became so detached with it in the first place, I now am, I still feel quite detached, and yeah, it's weird. I feel like I became detached with the concept of Mother's Day. Like, why? Obviously, yes, we should absolutely have a day to commemorate our mothers, and it shouldn't just be one day. It should be all the time, right?
Should be every day, yeah.
You see how much you go through from having our baby. That should be enough to celebrate your mum for the rest of your life. But yeah, Mother's Day, I became really like, I disassociate from it. So like now, this will be my third Mother's Day and second one with Arinze. And I just disassociate. Like, I don't feel like I want to celebrate it as like, oh, you're a mom to Arinze and Myla. And I don't, and then because of that, I'm not like celebrating it for my mum either. I'd rather actually just stay away from it altogether. And I feel like it's just become so commercialized in the sense of like, it'd be a great opportunity for it to be a conversation starter. So like now how you see like the radio was like, get a personalized Mother's Day card, or you're seeing all these things, but it should be a conversation starter of like, well, if you're grieving through Mother's Day, here's something for you. This is what you could do. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there needs to be a bit more room to have real conversations about Mother's Day. Maybe between us as people, as a society, and I don't mean like in sales, like, oh, buy a card for, I just mean like, it should be a great opportunity to maybe a moment of silence. You know how Remembrance Day at 11, you're supposed to have a moment of silence. Maybe just have a recognition of the mothers who are not here and the children who are not here with their mothers. Imagine that on Mother's Day. That would make Mother's Day so much more significant for me, I think.
It would, and you're so right as well. It's so commercialised now. Like even, I mean, I'd buy my mum like a card and a gift, but we don't really do. Like I'd rather just take her out on a normal day when it's not like double the price. But it's like with Valentine's as well. Like it's always so busy, and everything's like double the price. And I said to Dean like every year, I'm like, I'd rather just you cook me dinner. We can go out for dinner any other time. It's just like me and mum, like we all go out when we want or whatever. But I do want to say, actually, I went past a funeral home the other day. They had a memorial tree, and they had like a sign saying, this Mother's Day, like come in and leave a note for your loved one. Like you're more than welcome to come in. And I just thought that's so nice. Like but it shouldn't be a funeral home. I mean, it should, but like it should be like a common thing. Like there should be just somewhere where we can go and just remember our loved ones who aren't here on Mother's Day. Like whether it's parents, whether it's children, like whoever it is that we're missing. I just think, yeah, right. It would be nice to if it was more about the ones that we're missing as well. Because let's face it, like a lot of the population is going to be missing someone on Mother's Day. Like,
Yeah, that's so true. Like, it would be, I think it's needed actually. Maybe we need a petition or something. Imagine.
let's do it. No, but like people do not. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I don't think people talk about grief enough, and they don't want to see. And it's like we're all going to die at some point. I'm the one who's going to be accused of being morbid now, but it's true. Like all that's guaranteed in life is that we're born and that we're going to die. Like there is no other guarantee. So it's like, how am I being morbid by talking about that and talking about my grief for my son and whoever else in my life? Like it's just. It irritates me.
It's ridiculous, really. We behave like we're not going to die, like at large. And I think actually the more we speak about it, not saying that the more prepared you'll be or the easier it will be, but the easier it will be to speak about it in general and comfort people. because that's what's lacking, is the inability to comfort someone. And that's when we start saying things that at least or whatever, because we get so taken aback by the fact that someone's died in someone's life. And it's like, it's tragic. And especially like when it comes to babies, because that's not supposed to happen. They're supposed to outlive us, sorry. But it's happened, and now you need to know how to speak to me.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's another conversation for another day, though. Ranting and raving about all of the things that people have said to us.
Oh yeah, we need to have one of those.
Yeah,
that'll be an interesting one. But yeah, so we're actually going to leave it here. This episode will be nice and short and sweet, but it's just actually a thought, because obviously Mother's Day is around the corner, and we thought it would be quite nice just to have a little thought out there, and sending so many well wishes in this really difficult journey. Just have a gentle day.
Yeah, just, be gentle on yourselves. And, just take the time to remember your babies or whatever it is you need. And, just be kind to yourself. And have grace to yourself as well.
For the mothers missing their babies Earthside, it's so important to make room and space for you. I hope you know that you're seen and you're so valid, and I'm so sorry that the world has failed you with the space to continue to mother your child and acknowledge the existence of your motherhood. And we think of the mothers who have had to hide their motherhood because the world isn't prepared to face it, because the world is too uncomfortable to acknowledge it. You are seen here. You have space here. And as always, sending you so much love.